Hey guys, welcome back to another 1K challenge video. Thanks as always for checking it out and hopefully you find it beneficial. So with this one, we are just having another update. So the last update came out around, well, the last update I recorded was around 7 or 8 days ago. Obviously, by the time we edit the videos and get them out, it could be a while longer before you see them. So we're now on the 26th of September. The last update I did was on the 18th of September. So just more than a week ago, we were sitting around this point here where we'd done a few sales. But as you can see, albeit we had a few low days with just probably one sale per day, we're now starting to hit higher days and consistently sort of higher days as well. So we had an 82, we had £181 of revenue. Yesterday was back down to 57. But the main thing I look for when building consistency in an eBay store is the store getting sales every single day. Even if it's just one sale a day, we're hitting that consistency. We're building it up. We're getting higher highs and we're also getting higher lows as well. So even our low days are, there's £57, which our previous high day was £62. So it's pretty much the same, which is for me a big sign that things are going in the right direction. We've not been listing like crazy. We listed, I think in the last update I was saying I listed, quite a few more items. I pulled some items from Zik Analytics and things and uploaded those. Apart from that, we've just been using the bestseller auto lister, which I'm now going to increase to start listing a bit more heavily. So as you can see, we started on the 3rd of September. It's now the 26th of September. So that is, around 23 days, I think, give or take. It might be, slightly off, but yeah. So on an average, 123 listed listings divided by the 23 days, an average of 5 listings per day. I want to try and increase that and move things up slightly. So we started promoting listings as well. So we have some promotions running. I want to have a look at our traffic, and then I want to have a look at exactly where we are profit wise and what the plans are going forward. Okay, so we can see our campaign performance here. We can see £359 worth of our, I think it's 700, give or take, worth of sales since we started. So around half, which is absolutely fine. Normally you would expect not as many to be sold through promoted listings, but I'm absolutely fine with that. Obviously we're going to pay, what, £7 in ad fees. Not a great deal of money to be given up. And the way that we set our final value fees, our break-even fees, we generally don't factor in, or I certainly don't factor in the 2% promoted listings cost. But the categories that you sell in, we have our final value fees set at around 13%, but some categories are 11%, some categories are 8%, 9%, something like this. I also factor in the VAT, which I can actually claim back. So if anything, it should even itself out, especially if it's only half the sales are going through promoted listings. So I'm super happy with that. That has, it's essentially doubled our sales, sales that we wouldn't have if we didn't have promoted listings campaigns running. So it is really important that we have promoted listings campaigns. It does make a massive difference to your revenue, as you can see here. Okay, so this is the traffic tab. This is under the performance section. Okay, so it shows us our organic impressions and also our promoted listings impressions. You can toggle on and off to see the difference between those if you like. But as you can see, impressions are going up. So since we started listing, we had very few impressions, and then we started listing a bit more, and we're starting to see more impressions, because naturally the more items that you have listed, the more people will see them, the more impressions that you're going to get on them. It's just pretty obvious. We can see any external site views here with the black ones where eBay promote, have your listings promoted off-site. And we can see in this period we have sold 29 products as well. So again, I am pretty impressed with that. Top 20 search slot positions, 6.7%. Non-search impressions, we're still getting 82% of those. That's when people don't necessarily search our specific item, but it's still showing in front of their eyes. So all in all, pretty good. 40% of our impressions are from organic, 60% are from promoted, but still only 50% are actually selling from promoted. So although it's very good at getting page views, like I say, not necessarily all the sales are going to come from there. So I'm really, really happy with that. The only thing I'm going to change today is I'm going to change the percentage of profit on new items listed. I'm going to try and move that up a little bit to try and start making our items a lot more profitable. So if you remember, we started off the store at 4 to 5%. Okay, so we started off and it was looking a bit like this. Okay, 4 to 5% profit margins. Okay, now I'm going to leave the existing items at 4 to 5% at the minute. I'm not going to put my prices up and everything, but for the newly created items, I'm going to start listing those at 6 to 7%. It's not a massive increase by any means. It's just what, the lower one is one higher than the upper threshold, and then we're putting 1% higher than the lower onto the higher threshold. So 6 to 7% profit range. So we're going to get 6-7% profit on every sale after break even. So that is the only thing I'm going to do apart from increase the amount of listings that I'm listing onto my store. I'm not going to do anything else technical. I'm not going to mess around with any of the other listings. I may optimize a few of those as time goes on, but really I actually don't have the time at the moment, and I want to do this challenge, I guess, in the most simple and straightforward way possible to really see what I can achieve by doing the basics, really. So if you've watched the other videos, we use the bestseller auto lister to list items on your store automatically, sourcing the best possible items to list to our store. Okay, and it keeps it very consistent because eBay like to see listing consistently on the store, and they favor sellers that list new items basically. So this helps us keep really, really consistent. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change the max daily limit to around 15. Okay, now it's not going to list all 15 because it's going to block ones that are outside of my price range. It's going to block any duplicate items. It's going to block any Vero items. But I'm hoping that I can get in the region of 8 to 10 items listed to this store. Now, the daily rate is set to 1, so that means it tries just once, but I'm going to set this to 2 now in order to really try and maximize and make sure I get those 9 or 10 items. So let's say the first it tries 15 items once per day, and maybe only 5 or 6 of those get listed. I wanted to try again a second time to see if I can get up to my max daily limit, which it won't always do, but hopefully on average we'll come out with around 10 or 11 items listed, which will increase our average from 5 hopefully upwards and start building us towards where I like to see where we're at with around 500 items listed. Okay, I'm also just going to nudge the price up a little bit so that it's listing a minimum of £5, and then I also want the max price up a little bit as well, and I'm going to just change that to around, I'll just change it up to 15 just to keep it really, really straightforward. In fact, let's put it up to like £20. Okay, so 5 to £20. Let's try and get 10 more listings per day, and then I'm going to check in and do another update in maybe a week or so's time, maybe a couple of weeks, and see how things are moving. But I'm really happy with the progression of this store. It's not the most profitable store ever. It's only been running for, realistically like 3 weeks. But for 3 weeks, I'm pretty happy with what's going on at the minute. So we can see here from the Sale Freaks dashboard over on the right hand side. Obviously the left hand side's blurred out because it has various information on the bottom. The sales items are blurred out as well. I don't want anyone being able to snipe this particular store and take the items or anything else. So we can see the 24-hour profit clock is £9.74. Okay, so in the last 24 hours, which obviously it will include some of those orders that were potentially from the day before that. And then we can see 7 days, £13, 22 over the last 30 days, £22.73, and we've actually got a couple of pending orders waiting still to be processed. I think there's like one or two maybe orders, so there's maybe another £1 or £2. Okay, so We can see here as well the sell-through rate is 73% over the last 24 hours, which is obviously super high. But if we look at the 7 days and the 30 days and take an average, we're probably in and around 30% sell-through rate, which is absolutely brilliant for a store of this size. It's not long been running, obviously, so I'd be really happy. In fact, anything 20% plus I'm going to be happy with at this stage until we start pushing for higher priced items, which will bring the sell-through rate down. We've got a nice average of around £1 APO per item, which is your average profit per order, which is absolutely fine. And you can see here we've done 21 transactions. So obviously there's a bit of a mismatch actually, because on the eBay account it shows as 29. Now I think what happened was we didn't put those original ones through the auto order, so potentially they were just fulfilled manually. There was a bit of an issue, and possibly it hasn't updated. But 30 items sold in the first month. Like, I'm super happy with that. I cannot complain, and I'm looking forward to see where I can take this store to in the coming weeks and months to try and reach that 1K challenge goal. So hopefully you join us on the next video and it inspires you to do what we're doing. If you're not into dropshipping, this might be something that you will be interested in doing. Feel free to check out the links in the description where you can sign up to get some free trainings, free community groups, free trials for softwares and things like that. So with that said, thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll catch you on the next video. Cheers.